And good morning. Welcome into Trust Matters, Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions with Sean Robertson from Gateville Law Firm in Yorkville. Online at gatevillelawfirm.com. And Sean is back with us. Welcome back to our studio. Sean, how are things going?
Going well. How's it going for you, Mike?
We're doing all right.
Good.
We bring you back in for some new programs and new topics. Important information that Sean has to pass along to our listeners. Today, we're focusing on attorney reviews and professional inspections. So I guess when buying or selling real estate in Illinois, these are a couple of important steps along the way, and that's kind of our focus for today. Huh?
Exactly. Yep.
All right. So the attorney review, let's start there. What exactly are we talking about with attorney review?
So basically, somebody is buying or selling a house, and they have a signed contract, and normally that signed contract is a standard one called the multi-board residential real estate contract 7.0. So it's standard. So the attorney review basically allows us to customize the contract. So whether you're on the seller side or the buyer side, you're going to want to make some customizations, meaning things to protect the client.
And there's a certain time frame that this all takes place in, right?
Correct. Normally, it's within 5 business days of the date of acceptance, meaning the date that the seller signed it and the buyer signed it. Mostly, the seller signs last, generally. So, and sometimes you may have an extension of this period, but it's an important period.
Is that a good amount of time? Is it does it fly by fast? Is that a proper 5 days? Is that a good period of time?
Yeah, so normally it flies by pretty quick. Normally the issue is scheduling the home inspection, which typically goes with the attorney review. So a lot of times, most of the time, the home inspectors can get there prior to the 5 business days, but sometimes things are kind of crazy in the market and they need an extension, meaning the buyers may need an extension sometimes.
All right, so this attorney review period, what makes it so important?
It's important because it kind of defines additional terms, meaning like, for example, let's say you have a seller that is a disabled veteran that's not paying real estate taxes. If you're that seller or if you're that buyer, the fact that somebody's not paying real estate taxes is a big deal because taxes in Illinois are typically paid 1 year behind. So just because somebody received an exemption for 2024 doesn't mean when the tax bill comes out, the bill is going to be zero. So sometimes the bill could be $8,000. So what you customize the contract, if you're that buyer, you don't want to pay that seller's $8,000 bill. So these are the type of issues that the attorney review is designed to protect the buyer and the seller from.
What would be some good tips for buyers and sellers with this attorney review?
Like, for example, let's say somebody wants to know something. Like, for example, let's say they see some leakage issues. Ask whether there's, in the last 5 years, whether there's been any leakage or seepage. Those are things that I would think a buyer would want to know. And from a seller standpoint, listing, you got to understand that the home inspection is going to discover things about your house that maybe you didn't know existed. Like, for example, maybe the electrical wiring is not up to date. Little things like that, where, you know, the seller generally has to be pretty reasonable. And a lot of times the market dictates everything, meaning right now the market's pretty busy. And when there's a lot of competition for a property, the sellers can negotiate, but it doesn't mean that it's not a lopsided negotiation.
Let's get a couple quick comments in on the professional inspection period in our last 90 seconds or so. What's the main focus on that?
The main focus on this is uncovering hidden problems. And then the other issue, which the attorney deals with, and a lot of times a good realtor can help with this, is negotiating the repairs. Like, what repairs are the seller going to do? Are they going to offer a credit? A credit is basically giving the buyers money at closing. You know, the attorney generally needs to know, is it a veterans deal, VA deal? Is it a FHA? under certain government programs, you really can't give a credit. It's harder because certain safety items have to be fixed. Under conventional and cash, you have a lot more flexibility. So these are things that the seller, the real estate agent, and the attorney need to consider.
And you certainly hope in these situations both the buyer and the seller are flexible, right? And they can kind of
Correct.
meet in the middle on a lot of this stuff?
Yeah, and a lot of times that's what occurs, and sometimes that's not possible.
And in the last 20, 30 seconds here, Sean, how do the folks at Gateville Law Firm help work with these things we've talked about?
You know what? Our staff is very experienced. I mean, we have over 35 years of title background, and for most buyers or sellers, this is the most important financial transaction of your lifetime. So give us a call if you need anything, 630-780-1034, 630-780-1034. We're happy to assist, and I think we have a lot of satisfied clients as well.
For sure. That's Trust Matters, our show for today, Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions, brought to you by Gateville Law Firm and Sean Robertson. They are located in Yorkville. You heard the number, 630-780-1034. Find them online as well at gatevillelawfirm.com. At Gateville Law Firm, Trust Matters. We'll see you next time.